Welcome to the Black Men Think podcast. If this is your first time here, know that the views and opinions expressed by the Black Men Think podcast are those of the Black Men Think podcast and not the individual members. With that being said, we're about to be unapologetically, undeniably black. Enjoy.
So, I just got one question.
Yeah.
How we record an episode in almost 2 months, bro?
Man, look, life is life, man. Life, and granted, everybody's kind of had their own version of it, up to this point.
Absolutely.
We've talked about it before. It's been a wild year, but I mean, I think the last few months for us as a unit it's just been interesting, man. Been very interesting. I mean, I know you can speak to that for sure.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, for those that might be a little bit closer to the circle, I lost my father about a month ago now. Actually, it's been about a month ago. So
rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Yeah, definitely. Rest in peace, pops. And so a lot of just grieving and really processing and just kind of taking my time coming back to things. Like I really took the time to just say, like, you know what, I ain't doing nothing. Like, nah.
Yeah.
I don't want to
for sure.
And those that know me know that my dad is very influential in my life, and everything that I pretty much do in some form or fashion, my dad has been involved with or has done at some point in his life too. So it's like, for me, I can't make music right now, bro. Every time I make music, I think about my dad. I'm like, I'm not in the right headspace to make music, so I'm not gonna make music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm thankful that I have the luxury of being able to turn things off and on when I want to. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And so that's a beautiful thing in the midst of everything that's been going on. But just living life, appreciating life, and definitely the things that come along with death of a parent, especially, or death of a father, is that you have to deal with all of those things that are left behind. So trying to help mom transition into different roles that she may not have been used to. It's kind of helping where I see fit, really. And in the midst of helping, not trying to overstep boundaries and not trying to take the place of my dad, just like literally just helping out where I know that help is needed. But by no means am I trying to like, oh, your dad used to do this, all right, let me do this. Like, nah, like I'm Justin Goodwin. My name ain't Ricky Goodwin. You know what I'm saying? So that those are the things that I've been going through and dealing with, and playing a lot of golf too. And playing a lot of golf, bro.
Yeah, you've been out there, brother. You trying to go ahead and fill in for Tiger while he out? I mean, I'm just
No, man, I'm a long way from Tiger, bro. Tonight, I shot the best round that I've shot.
Okay.
And last week was the best round that I've shot. So I've improved from week to week.
That's what's up. And as long as the ball is moving, like you're moving in the right direction, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. The guy that I played golf with, he said something tonight, man. He was like, look, unless you hit a hole in one on every hole, bro, like there's room for improvement. And it's just like, that's so real. And he said that just kind of carefree, but I took it to heart, because it's just like, that's so real. You know what I mean? Like, unless you can take it out of golf and look at it in any part of life. Like, unless you are, have a 850 credit score, or unless you are, out of debt, or unless you, are talking to your family on a regular basis. Like, there are so many things that can be improved upon in your life. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's just, golf has been one of those things. For one, I mean, I'm a competitive dude, and I ain't really had nothing to truly compete with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I played a lot of softball, but I ain't played softball in now like almost 2 or 3 years. And so golf has given me that competitive edge, but now it's like competing with yourself.
Yeah.
Because Like there's when you play bad in golf, bro, ain't nobody else to blame but yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you
But
can look left and look
a good
right.
it's a good escape space too though, because you know what I
Oh,
mean, like
100%.
really for any of us out there, even in our listeners who, you know, you live in a world where all day you're going for somebody else, like that's the best, one of the best ways. And granted, it's a frustrating game. Like it's just a frustrating game, bro. I mean, the few
Yeah.
times that I've played, I actually own clubs and they need to be dusted off straight up. But the few times I've played, man, it's just beautiful, bro. You got, you know, beautiful weather. I mean, you just out there with the wind, nature, whatever, and you're trying to strike at this little white object and send it up the course in a certain amount of hits. And it's just, but it's an escape, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Definitely an escape. And like we were talking about before we started recording, and right now in my life, it is the only thing that I can do where I don't have to think about anything. Like I can go out on the golf course, bro. I go out on the golf course, and whatever time that I go, I at least have, if I'm only playing 9 holes, I at least have about 2 hours where I don't have to think about nothing. I don't have to think about my wife. I don't have to think about my kids. I have to think about jobs, careers,
sound like
family,
a dream, man.
like nothing, bro. It's just me and golf. And so for me, it's really been like that self-care in a sense. That's what it's been. It's been that self-care for me.
That's see, that used to be me and movie theaters, you know. Like I'm you know, y'all know my story out there. I'm an only child, you know, so I always appreciated me space, me time. I probably innately, because somewhat I'm an introvert, you know, but at the same time, that's how I came up. You know, I just had time to process things every single day. You know, I would literally like lay in bed before going to sleep as a kid, and like I don't even know how I started doing this, but I can remember as far back as I can remember, I would think about the day. I would like look at like what happened and like wonder what I could have done differently. Like maybe since I was a middle schooler, bro. And I don't have a clue why. Just that's probably just a God-given thing that he just gave me space to process. And you know, so like the movie theater just used to be something like that. You know, I would enjoy the drive there. You know, enjoy just sitting in the space early. I would like to get there early so I could be like in there when it was empty, just, you know, quiet, you know, kind of casually seeing what's on the screen, the little ads and stuff. But at the same time, it's just me time. You know, I would go enjoy the piece, enjoy the film, you know, get in depth with it. Usually I'm watching something that I'm enjoying, of course. You know, I love comic book stuff. So, and then I could sit there and watch the credits. You know, I could just appreciate every moment. There's no rush. I'm not here for anybody else. I'm not here with anybody else. It's just me. So, you know, definitely that space is important, man. And just, you know, before we move on, man, just my condolences to you and your family. You know, we love you guys. And long live, you know, Mr. Good, man. Shout out forever.
Definitely,
But
man. My pops,
yeah, brother.
My pops definitely, you know, my the one thing that I've learned truly going through this entire process is that it's amazing how much you can think about somebody and them not be present. But it's also it's a saying, man. It's like they said people die twice. It's when they physically die, and then it's when you stop talking about them, stop saying their name, right? And so, you know, I've literally thought about my dad every day since like November. Like, you know, my dad was in the hospital since November, but even more since he's passed, I've literally thought about him every day in different forms and fashions. Like it could have been just like something as young as, oh, like my dad coaching me in baseball, to like, dang, you know, just small things that I wanted to show him and all of that. And one of the things that I did early on to kind of help myself process everything was like I literally wrote a letter, and I ended up posting that letter. I think I posted it on Facebook, but it was like, you know what, dude, I'm sitting here in it. All right, cool. Let's just come on. And I typed
let's get it out.
You know,
let's get it out.
Let's get it out. Like everything that I was thinking about, and I didn't care how it sounded. I was just like, whatever come to mind, I'm writing it down. And I wrote it out. And it was just like a relief after I did that, because it was just like, oh, I've been thinking about all this stuff. And so now that I'm able to just write it out and just like, all right, boom, this is it. And not necessarily like move on, but more so, it's a part of that grieving process. Like, okay, you're accepting what's happening. You're talking about what's happening. Now, you learn very quickly that, bro, no matter what happened with anybody in your family, like, this sounds crazy, but you my brother, so you know me, and the 7 y'all all know me. But at the end of the day, like, y'all dad didn't die, right? So life literally goes on for y'all. Like, I mean, yeah, y'all care about the situation and everything like that, but bro, y'all got your own problems to deal with. You know what I'm saying? And so that's y'all. So imagine everybody else who's around me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all closest of the closest that will call and check up on me and all of these things, and like, yo, bro, you good? Like, how you need anything? So imagine that outer layer of people who just casually see me. Like, their world kept going, nothing happened. And you know what I'm saying? It makes you think about just in general how life works. No matter what happens to anybody, the majority of the people around you, their life just gonna keep moving like nothing happened. They might feel for you, but ultimately their life is gonna keep going. And so it's just one of those things, man, to really you have to just keep you have to process everything that's going on, but ultimately, bro, like, you do have to live your life. You know what I'm saying? And like, just enjoy what happened, like enjoy those memories. I'm thankful that me and my dad were not on bad terms when he passed. Like, we had a great relationship,
for sure.
Great conversations, all that. So, rest in peace, Pops. And we'll see you on the other side, bro. Come in my dreams every now and then and talk to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
like,
sir. Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely,
good.
man. That's beautiful, man. Yeah. For me, man, it's this time has ironically, it's been a much needed break. Obviously missing the podcast and missing you guys for one, because I mean, we ain't really had a chance to have as much conversation as we normally do, because everybody's kind of had their own version of what we're even discussing on this podcast episode. But for us, man, it's been a whirlwind, bro. I think my wife and I say we, my wife and I, we man, when I say like we hit a hard point, not between our relationship, but just like, bro, we've been in this house with the kids going nonstop, work, kids, her job, kids. And granted, we work opposite schedules, just so that there's always support for the kids, right? So, right. I'm working, all days of the week. She's at home, able to support the kids and homework and different things like that. I get home, dive into it. In the afternoons, we're usually trying to get our workout on or whatever, just kind of keep the mental health going, the stress levels down. We connect when we can. Weekends she works, I'm with the kids. So the it's nonstop. Literally nonstop. And everybody knows our story out there. We got 4 of them, and 4 that are really young and very demanding. And I mean, it's just the phase of life that we're in. And I think we snuck up into a space where like we were both about to crack. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking at her like, I gotta get out of here. Like, I get it, COVID, that's cool. I gotta get out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. Like, I gotta go. And she's like, I know I'm about to lose my mind. And on top of that, she had already been fully vaccinated. She's a nurse, so she had access early. And I work with, we live in Georgia, so and I work with youth and kids. So my ability to get a vaccine came up a little bit later, but eventually, the opportunity came. And of course, I went ahead and jumped at it. And, and granted, for anybody out there that's still pending, I just say, get the information that you need so that you can be as well informed as you can be, so that you can make the decision that fits for you. I know there are still many, many people who are still very uncomfortable with it for very good reasons. And and I just say, at the end of the day, just make sure you have the right information coming in. There's a lot of misinformation out there. Hear from the people that actually have the truth and make your decision that's best for you and your family. So, but that was just I digress. Anyway, but man, we finally, hit a space where we were able to schedule her mom to come keep the kids for 3 days, right? We got a hotel room in the city. We thought about traveling, flying out here, flying out there. Oh, let me paint this picture too. We're also trying to move. in a housing market that is insane.
Yeah, insane.
And bro, when I say insane, I don't mean like, I mean there's no inventory.
Mm-hmm.
There's literally no inventory out there. And what I mean by that for all the listeners is there are no homes available because at the point where they go on the market, they might last 2 days. And these are, properties that have already been in existence. They might last 2 days.
Yeah.
I think something about the pandemic has driven people to like, they probably feel like I do, like I got to get out the house. Matter of fact, I want to get out of this house permanently.
Yeah.
And so, and not to mention, stimulus checks are flying out. So people probably feel like they got a little more money than maybe they realistically do. I don't know. At the end of the day, people are trying to buy, and on top of that, the flip side of that, right? Like we did just go through a pandemic, a lot of people's job fluctuation was a reality or job loss. And so granted, there aren't a lot of people trying to make life decisions that big. And so there's not a lot of sales happening. The sales that are happening, people are sweeping them up as soon as they go on the market. And for us, we wanted to try to find something in definitely a decent, but actually great school zone. But supply and demand shooting prices through the roof. Every time we get a lead on something, by the time we're able to get the kids in the car, the lead is gone. Yeah, I said that. By the time we're able to actually load the car up, bro, like the lead is gone. And everybody's going through the same thing. I got 2 coworkers who were looking for a house, and they both told me the same story. Like they bid on a home. It ended up selling like $50K above what they bid it on.
Wow.
How can you compete with that? And granted, in a matter of hours at that.
Yeah.
How can you compete with that when people are willing to throw out money for any value, no matter where it is? It doesn't matter, So, mind you, a godsend came along, literally a godsend. I'm not even gonna say we found a home. I'm gonna say we accidentally stumbled on a property that somebody had just let the deal fall through with. And we ended up signing for a new house in the school zone, the exact school zone that we wanted, with the exact size of home, square footage, the whole 9 yards. Obviously with the family that we have, and so. But man, when I tell you, it's been like some of the most stressful times ever, on top of everything else that I just described. So we were able to get a little break, man. Her mom kept the kids for 3 days. My parents, we came back home from the hotel. We just kind of hung out in the city. By the time I had gotten fully vaccinated, we just got back out a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Got back to us, got back to who we are. And then my parents kept in the back half of the week, man. We had a whole week to ourselves. So it was much needed.
That's beautiful, bro. That's beautiful. Like we we did quite the opposite of that.
Okay.
So we took the girls to Chattanooga. So this is our first trip out of town with both of the girls.
I do remember.
Yeah. And so, positive vibes, you got to put the positive vibes in the air. And thankfully our girls, they actually did pretty well. They didn't act up too much. We made the mistake of forgetting toys. So everything in the hotel room ended up being some type of toy. Like the air condition was Jay's office. Like there was a light next to the air conditioner that she just flipped off and on for like literally 30 minutes at a time.
Parents understand. You gotta be creative.
Yeah, man. So but we had a great time, and we went up Friday and we came back on Monday. But it was nice for the girls because we realized too that the girls haven't seen anything. You know what I mean? And especially our youngest, Noelle, like she's been in the house. She is a pandemic baby, bro. Like she was in the house. She was born in 2019 and she literally stayed in the house all of 2020. And so, at that young age, a mask is normal to her, like very normal. And, we had one thing that happened a couple of weeks ago where my in-laws, they have a timeshare in Villa Rica that they go to every year. And so, she'll normally take the girls for a day or two, and then we'll come up there and kind of hang out. And so we did get one day to ourselves during that time. But when Trina said when she got there, she was just like, Noelle was just like literally sitting on the sofa like this.
Wow.
Like in zombie land, we're trying to figure out like, yo, what's going on with you? And, you know, it clicked. It didn't click really until we got home and she went back to normal. And it was like, oh, yo, she had anxiety levels through the roof, bro, because she hasn't really been around people, let alone around people in a new place. Because we were in the timeshare and nothing about that timeshare looked familiar to her. That's the first time that she's been, you know, she went there last year, but she was, no, in 2019, but she was too young to know. I mean, she was a baby, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
She was just, I mean, it was literally her not understanding what's going on at this time. I'm like, yes, I know grandma, but who is granddad? Because I only see granddad on the phone. I don't see him in person. So to see him in person, this is not real. What's going on? And so she was just like almost shell shocked, bro. Like it was just so crazy to see it. And the realization came like, oh, she doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And so it was fun going to Chattanooga because, you know, she got a chance to kind of go out, be around people in a safe space. You know, we hit the parks and we did some fun things, man. But through all of that, it made my wife and I just realized like, yo, we haven't been anywhere by ourselves in a while, right? Like, so we are planning a trip for our anniversary where we're just like, you know, I think that trip really kind of drove it home for my wife to be like, all right, cool. Like, yo, you vaccinated too now? All right, let's go get on the plane.
Right. Hey, listen, with the quickness.
Yeah, bro. Like, I mean, by all means, I echo what you said. Get the information, make your own decision. And I'm saying I'm planning a trip in September to get on a plane, and that's because I've done my due diligence. I'm wearing a mask everywhere I go. I've taken both of my vaccinations. Like I'm fully vaxxed up at this point. I think I earned the right to like get on the plane and social distance and go and do what I would do here in another city, bro. I'm just being honest. Like, no.
Yeah, and I feel you. And I mean, and granted, man, like people are definitely like dealing with the real pressures and anxieties of like the last year to the point where they're like, bruh, I'm about to risk it all. And I get it. I totally get it. And you know, and it does give an ease of mind, like with having the vaccine, at least feeling like I've at least done something to give myself an extra layer of protection. And really you're taking everything else by chance, you know, we're keeping it 100, you know, and you know, it probably goes well in many cases, and in some cases it might not. And it just is what it is. Those are just the odds at this point, you know. But all I know is after these next few months that we're gonna have to go through with moving and, you know, honestly trying to set our home up as a rental property and all the education that's needed to do that type of thing and all the packing to actually try to move a house of 4 children.
A house of 6, bro.
A house of 6. That alone, you know.
That's a lot.
I don't care. We will be on a plane when this process ends. When this is all said and done, we up out of here, bro. We going somewhere, man. You made me think about, like, while you were telling your story, you know, going on the first vacation with the kids. Like, you made me think about, like, the experiences that we've had as our family grew. One time we went on a trip, man, and we had 2 at the time. And we made the mistake of getting 1 hotel room with, like, double beds. Never again. Never again. Like that. Like life lesson number 1 as a family with multiple children. Never, like for real. Never buy a single like hotel room space. Like a condo or something is required. Like something, an Airbnb with multiple rooms or a pull-out sofa in another space. Yeah, man. When I tell you, there was no sleep. I know that's rough. There was no sleep. There was no sleep. Rough. And then I thought about another time where like we wanted to plan this beach trip. It was like, you know, that first time you want to get the kids down to the beach. Yeah. First time, excited. So we went down to Clearwater, bro. Little did we know, until we got literally to the beach, like walking on the beach, excited. It was like morning, nobody was there. So my kids took off running towards the water. And the closer we got to the actual like where the water began, dead fish started to pop up on the shore. All across the shore, like literally across the shore. Yeah. The closer we got to the water, like everybody's kind of started like choking and coughing. It was red tide. Have you ever heard of red tide?
I've heard of it, yeah.
So for our listeners, like red tide is like, and how do I explain? So it's like when there's this like harmful, hold on, I'm gonna look it up. Here, like,
let's be factual.
Let me be factual with it. All right, red tide. I just Googled it. It's a phenomenon of discoloration of the sea surface. It is a common name for harmful algal blooms occurring across the coastal regions, which are resulting from like large concentrations of aquatic microorganisms, blah, 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 terrestrial runoff containing fertilizer, sewage, and livestock. End of the day, it's going to be a whole bunch of dead fish in the water, a whole bunch of dead fish flowing up on the shore. Right. And you as a human being will be choking just for being in the vicinity. We went to a beach thinking we were about to have like this elaborate, like this special moment for like our third child, I think it was at the time. And we can't even breathe at the beach.
It had been a traumatic experience.
Traumatic. Absolutely traumatic. And granted, thankfully, we went with a few family members and like we had this little timeshare space. And by the grace of God, there was a water park at the hotel.
Okay, cool.
So we spent the whole vacation at the water park.
Yeah.
But it was still a bus, bro. Like you walk on the beach, the first time your kids, like at least two of them get a real old enough experience where they'll remember it, it was dead fish.
Yeah, that's tough, man. But I definitely feel you about the room situation. Like we had a suite, but it wasn't the suite that we wanted to have. Like it was a suite situation where it was a, king size bed and there was a sofa bed. And then there was a, kitchenette area. So it was enough space, so to speak, but the ideal situation for a married couple with children is, if you're going to be in a hotel, is to have a suite where the door, either two joining rooms, like you have one room for the kids and one room for the adult, or you have a door that closes off the bedroom. Because when I tell you, and this is not even just to like be intimate with my wife, but like more so like, bro, when I tell you we all had to go to sleep at the same time. I'm a night owl, bro.
Yeah, same.
I'm a night owl. So granted, it was probably best that we all went to sleep at the same time because I was able to get more rest than I normally would get, which is what you should get on a vacation. But bro, I don't go to sleep at 9:30, 10 o'clock, bro. Like never. So it's like 10 o'clock and it's complete darkness in the hotel room. And I just got to like suck it up and just go to sleep, bro. Because it's like, what am I going to do? If I leave, I'm about to wake up these kids.
Right.
If I want to just like, I'm going to go down here to the gym, I'm literally going to wake up everybody when I come back into the room. Like,
bro, because sidebar, like, why are hotels' doors so loud? Have you ever noticed that?
I've noticed it, yeah. Spend the extra money, get 2 rooms, or better yet, spend the extra money and have one of your in-laws or your mom come on vacation too.
That part, because guess what? They're gonna love staying in the room and watching the babies when you and your wife or you and your significant other, or whatever, when y'all head out, or you by yourself, whatever it is. Yep. They don't mind. They don't mind.
They want to spend time with their grandkids. So look, spend the extra money, pay for the extra room. Trust me, it would be a more fruitful vacation if you were to do that. Just take mom or take mother-in-law and let them chill in the room. The kids,
unless you got one of these young grandmamas, they might be trying to go to the club. You stay, because I'm going out tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it was a cool experience, bro. Like we definitely made some good memories there, and even though they're young, I think that's something that when they really think about it, they'll be able to remember. Like they had a good time. You know what I'm saying? So that was a cool experience to be able to do that. And it was one thing that, just to kind of bring everything full circle, that's the one thing that I truly remember about my dad. Like we went on vacation every year. We went somewhere. We might have went to like every city in Florida, bro, but we went on vacation every year. So that's something that I wanted to make sure that I brought to my family. So
gotcha.
But his next vacation is gonna be a vacation.
A vacation.
A vacation.
Yeah,
Just
bro.
me and mine.
All the way up.
Yeah,
Heard that, bro. Heard that, man.
So,
Yeah, man.
Trying to find us a moment in Black history.
See, you own it. You remember.
Hey, man.
My God.
I had to think about it. So here we go. I'm just gonna try to go through here real quick and find something that's that should be fruitful.
For sure.
Hold on the spot, not moving too good. Hold on.
And what a better time, like just to commemorate Black life and Black excellence. Rest in peace again. Rest in peace to George Floyd and anybody else, everybody else who we've lost in life and in this past year, especially. We know most recently the conviction of Chauvin happened, and for once, I think we all can exhale a little bit. But definitely rest in peace, man. The man should still be alive, and I'll just leave that there. We won't go into that any further, but yeah,
absolutely. So I have something here, man, and thank you for sharing it because that was definitely worth noting. So I have something here that is considered a little known Black history fact. So kind of like flies under the radar, things that people don't know about, right? So the first one here is about Martin Luther King Jr. Did you know that he improvised the most iconic part of his "I Have a Dream" speech?
I've actually heard that before, but what part was that?
So on Wednesday, August 28th, 1963, 250,000 Americans united at the Lincoln Memorial for his final speech on the March of Washington. As Martin Luther King stood at the podium, he eventually pushed aside his notes. The night before the march, Dr. King began to work on his speech with a small group of advisors in the lobby of the Woodward Hotel. The original speech was more political and less historic, according to Clarence B. Jones, and it did not include any references to dreams. After delivering the famous line, "We are not satisfied and we will not be satisfied until justice rolled down like the waters and righteousness like a mighty stream," Dr. King transformed his speech into a sermon. On stage, near Dr. King, singer Mahalia Jackson reportedly kept saying, "Tell him about the dream, Martin." And while no one will know if he heard her, it could likely have been the inspiration he needed. Dr. King then continued, "Even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream."
Yes, sir.
There you go. So, little unknown Black history fact there that Martin Luther King improvised his most iconic speech, the "I Have a Dream" speech. So,
wow.
That part of the speech.
And let me just throw in there that speech was God inspired. That the words that came out were meant for history. They were meant to be etched in stone in history. Man, I had to learn that speech honestly as a kid, and I had to do it at a speech meet back in the day, which is crazy because even as an adult, I'm just like, man, there are parts of the speech obviously that resound and I can remember and they kind of roll off the tongue, but just I wish memory would serve me better. I wish I still remember the whole thing, but I mean, obviously it's available. But moments like these, man, again, it's very important for us to commemorate our own, to celebrate our own. This is the Black Men Think podcast, right? What a better opportunity to celebrate the loss of great Black men, regardless of public perspective, regardless of who they were. We knew who they were in our lives, and I'm speaking not just for me and you, but for everybody who's lost someone, especially someone in this skin color, and also just to commemorate the history that we've etched in stone and the greatness that we've put in stone, both on a personal family level, but also on a historic level across the world. So salute to your father, salute to those who we and others have lost wrongfully to injustice, and salute to the man who spoke about justice, Dr. King. Junior.
There you go. Well, hey, that's all that needs to be said, man. Thank y'all for listening, and thank y'all for those who still here. Like, we know for a fact, bro, it's podcasting, right? It's been 2 months. Some of y'all don't love, but guess what? Y'all can come back. It's all good.
Come on back.
We come on back. We back.
Yeah.
And we definitely plan to be more consistent, man. Like I said, life happens, and we ain't making no excuses. We just telling y'all exactly what's going on in our life right now. So make sure y'all subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend to tell a friend. More importantly, keep being black. That's it, bro. Keep being black, man. We out. We'll see y'all next week.
Black Men Think.
Black Men Think.
The Black Men Think Podcast.